All right, so thank you guys for taking the time. So we got Matthew here from the team at Bet Your Beans. Again, love the name, love the logo on this one first and foremost. Obviously, super simplistic kind of idea here, concept in the sense that you download the app, you connect your wallet, you open a bet, you can use the QR code to share that with your friends or share that with your group. You set the terms. The team will hold the money during the bet. The bet happens, whatever the wager is based on, that will occur. The winner's determined and the funds are released. And obviously on the back, obviously throughout that, the team is going to be able to take a small fee from holding the money. That's going to be obviously a driver of the ecosystem. So hopefully kind of simplicity wise, I nailed it on that one, Matt, for us in terms of the overview of what the project is. You guys have your NFT private sale coming up, I know, this Saturday, which I will be able to go back into the post we put up on the channel and edit in the link for that once I have it received. And then you guys have your pre-sale for the actual token coming up on a couple of weeks. You didn't really set a date right now. I know that's still kind of TBD. So we'll keep that up in the air and obviously be able to maybe throw up a tweet or a post about that in the future as kind of timelines entail. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously love the concept, super simple. The fact that you guys are using QR codes on this one from a tech standpoint, we always talk about how to bridge it into the real world. That makes it a little bit easier, in my opinion. So again, I'm excited to be able to chat with you. I know you have a pretty cool vision on this one. We're not going to get into all of it on the AMA because, again, there are certain things in the crypto space you do need to keep close to the chest just for obvious reasons. And again, it's a really easy to understand concept. Hopefully they're going to start out. Matt will kind of tell you what you'll be able to bet on to start and how hopefully that kind of progresses into the future. And again, how the NFTs and the token will kind of function within that ecosystem. So Matt, going to throw it over to you to introduce yourself and a little bit more on the project, and we'll get into some questions.
Okay. This is concept simple, development heavy for sure. My name is Matt. I'm 38 years old. I'm single. I like long walks on the beach, blonde women, but I digress. I'm a filmmaker. That's what I've been doing for 15 years. I work in the film industry here in Vancouver. I've worked on Warcraft, Star Trek Beyond, Maze Runner, Arrow, Godzilla. It's been a pretty awesome career. It's what I'm passionate about. In that career, I deal with directors and producers, logistics, management, and that type of stuff. And I've, been in this space for around 1 year. I've made some good money. I've lost some good money as well. And I've seen all these projects that come up with 21-year-old developers who sit in the basement and don't understand how to manage anything. They don't understand logistics. They don't understand how to build an actual business. And, back in December of last year, I came up with a concept saying, I think this would be really interesting in the space. It's a proper utility. It's something nobody's seen before. And I wanted to approach this project like I do anything else in life. I put myself out there. I put my face on it just like I do when I'm directing my films. And, you'll be able to take a look at our website. You'll see I'm on there. I'm fully doxed. We have other team members that are doxed on there. There's my directing website. There's my IMDb. First and foremost, we are 100% honest. We are transparent. I was a former project manager over at Grimace Coin when they were going. I was there for a couple months, and I brought the team meetings and the AMAs together over there and ran all that. And, I'm very happy to have this opportunity to start my own project and actually focus on it. So that's kind of my basic introduction. We have Sam. Sam's at work right now. He's kind of our head of research and development, very smart fellow. He's written a bunch of papers about how to where to target our market research, heading off and our demographics that we want to hit in the real world. We're going to be targeting China. We're going to be targeting Brazil. Our big targeting is obviously North America and Europe, but that's all things that we can get into in a little bit. We have Carmen, who's kind of our partner strategist. She's smart, also doxed. She's going to be helping us out a lot with how we're going to build this company. And we have as well RJ and Binny. And RJ and Binny are from CoinFlect. They are incredible devs. They do custom blockchain tools. They have large partnerships in the works right now. And I couldn't be doing this project without them. So, that's kind of our core. And I think RJ and Benny are going to be joining here and able to talk a little bit about our contract and stuff at that point.
Perfect.
Sorry,
So
just
why
texting
don't
RJ.
we, typically I like to start with what's kind of coming up first on your roadmap in front of us. Sometimes it will be the pre-sale on the token side, but obviously in your case, you guys have your NFT private sale coming up on Saturday, which I know you shared me that graphic. Maybe I'll drop that in the comments section for people to be able to see. But I'd love for you to be able to talk a little bit about what that's going to entail this upcoming Saturday.
Okay, so we are doing a private sale, but the private sale is made up of NFTs only. But what we're doing with our NFTs is we are pegging tokens to them. And I haven't seen this done in the space, probably for a good reason. But I mean, we're here to innovate. And I get sick of going into projects where all the private sellers dump. Private buyers, they're really private buyers, are now selling their private tokens and wrecking projects. So what we've done is we've taken these really unique NFTs. We're minting 200 of them at one BNB each, and you're going to get anywhere from 115 to 160% above pre-sale value of tokens pegged to this NFT. So this NFT is going to be used for staking only. Those tokens will never come off that NFT. But what it's doing is it's guaranteeing that if you like this project and you understand that we're here to do something long term and actually going to build a proper business in the space, you understand the value of these NFTs. So you go buy one for one BNB and you're going to get anywhere from 1.15 BNB to 1.6 BNB worth of tokens pegged to it. And that's going to be good for passive income. Now, again, this has never been done before, but the beauty of us doing it this way is that as the value of our company and our market cap raises, the value of these NFTs is going to scale with it because there's tokens locked into these NFTs. So if we're at 100 million market cap a year from now, those NFTs are going to be worth a shit ton of money. And if you want to get out, you want to sell that to somebody else who wants to stake it for a great value, those NFTs are going to retain their value along with our chart and whatever it's doing. So yeah, that's happening on Saturday. One BNB, we have 200 for sale is kind of what we're going for.
So, in terms of access and like what those NFTs might get you guys down the line, what might get some of those private holders down the line? We're always talking about benefits. So, what are some of those major benefits that you're going to get for participating outside of obviously being a part of that early trajectory of a project and the initial kind of
right
benefits of tier versus tier again?
Yeah, so the one benefit that's going to come with it really is it's going to get you a pre-sale whitelist for tier one. So everyone who buys an NFT automatically gets whitelisted for the pre-sale. There's going to be a tier two whitelist going on for the pre-sale as well. That's going to be reference based, and then we'll open it up to the public for our pre-sale. And that pre-sale is roughly 2 to 4 weeks from now. We'll be locking that down a little bit more depending on how our NFT sale goes over the course of the next week. Benefit wise though, the benefit really is the amount of tokens staked to it. We are talking about doing another NFT sale a little bit later on down the line when we have a large amount of holders and investors who like using the platform and want to reduce their betting fees, where we would then have an NFT that might take a percentage off the fees that you pay for betting, so you can save money in the long term if you're going to be using the platform for a long time. But the main benefit of these is the amount of tokens that you get for staking greater than pre-sale value, because the passive income is such a huge part of this platform and how the BYB economy is going to work, which I'm sure we'll dive into. So
amazing. And so I guess the pre-sale itself, what are you guys thinking about for your soft cap, hard cap, or has that been discussed? Are you guys still kind of up in the air about what the market looks like at that time?
I mean, either way, market depending, we want to raise $250,000 as a soft cap. We want to raise $500,000 for a hard cap, because that will give us everything that we need to get the version 1 of the app out for 3 months and allow us to start building the other things that we are going to be adding to the platform sometime after launch, and allow us to scale upwards, adding sports APIs and stuff like that, really building up our GameFi system on the back end. It's going to give us a lot for marketing, because we understand that branding and marketing is going to be massive for this. We want to be the premier betting platform where you and a friend can go head to head. So, it's going to give us a good jump start on stuff. But yeah, 250 to 500,000 BUSD essentially.
And then from a kind of a fee, because I know that fee that you guys will be taking within the bet is obviously going to be a big factor in terms of keeping the sustainability of the platform moving forward. So has that
Mm-hmm.
been discussed as well amongst the team? Like what specifically you guys will take per transaction or per bet going on?
Yes. Yeah, we have that all sorted out. Do you want me to run through maybe the betting system and the economy a little bit? I
That
can kind
actually
of do
might
that.
kind of from a because I'm just trying to piece it, NFT sale, pre-sale for the token, and then how the token and stuff might fit within the platform. But I think maybe better understanding the economy itself of how that will work and how
Yeah.
that's going to drive some of the sustainability on the platform. That definitely
Okay.
helps as well.
Yeah, okay. So let me kind of dive into the token and the platform itself, and I'll give you kind of the overall arc of the project. So think of it this way. Your summary was very on point. You know, as an example, I'm sitting here with Maurice and we're talking. I'm like, I think Bitcoin's going to hit this by a certain amount of time. He says, no, you're wrong. I say, okay, put your money where your mouth is. I go to the Bet Your Bean app. It's going to be on mobile. It's going to be on the website. And I go to open a bet. I'm going to make a private bet so only me and him can see it. It's going to make its own custom URL right there and then. It's going to give me a URL and a QR code. I'm going to send it to him. I'm going to connect my wallet. If it's my first time, I'm going to pick a username. Matthew is a terrible bettor. Maurice will be like, Maurice is better than Matthew. It's going to tie that name to your wallet. There's going to be a chat built in on every single bet that is opened down at the bottom. So you can sit there and negotiate your terms of the bet with that other person. So do you want to maybe, Maurice, maybe we'll say, we're going to say Bitcoin's going to be $100,000 in 4 months, right? We both agree on that. We both decide to put $100 down. We sign off on that. Our wallets are connected. What's going to happen is it's going to take 5% from each of them, and it's going to send that back over to the team. And that's going to go to the dev and marketing wallet for further app development. And some of it is also going to go back into our staking pool. The 95% of the pot that is being created is actually going to get sent off with its own smart chain, smart contract onto the Binance smart chain. So that 95% of money that is in the pot from both of them, we don't hold. We don't even have access to, right? We take our 5%, we wash our hands of the matter. And what's going to happen is now that smart contract is sitting there, and the custom API that we are building is going to automatically validate that bet result when it becomes true or false. So let's say we hit August, I'm right, boom, it's going to send the 95% back to me. And it's going to be marked on my profile as well that I won that bet and he lost that bet. So that's the basic run of the platform, how it's going to work. You can also do an open bet. So you can bet on, sorry, DM just threw me off from RG there. It's it gets sent off. So you can do an open bet. So anybody can see the list of open bets currently, and they can be like, oh, I like that one. I'm going to take this guy up on that. So you don't have to have friends, which is great for a lot of people in this space, such as myself. The other thing that you can do, as well as we are doing custom bets. So let's say you don't want to bet on a crypto price prediction. We're starting with the top 10 cryptos off the top. We're going to be adding other cryptos to bet on, but you're like, I'm sitting at the bar with Maurice. I'm like, I don't think you can eat that foot long in 5 minutes. And he's like, yeah, I bet you I can. We don't have any money on us. We're going to open the app up. Within a minute, we should have that bet in and locked and loaded. Accessibility and ease of use is so important for what we're doing here. We want this to be fun. We want it to be playful. We really want to hit on the man versus man, prove you right, take your friend's money, fun, college vibe. You know what I mean? So we're going to sit there. Maurice is going to chow on that sub in like 30 seconds. We're both going to be responsible for validating that I lost the bet and he won the bet. Right. So that comes down to the user having to validate their bet, but we're also going to be adding a third-party validator. So if you want, you can have a friend come on board and kind of be that third-party wallet to mediate the bet for any time it's a custom bet. The beauty of the custom bet is that, if you want to really dive into, I think this guy's going to pitch this much in a certain amount of game at this point in time, you can go put that in with a friend that you trust. Again, your money gets sent off. You guys validate, yeah, you won, I lost. That money goes back to you. So the custom bet opens it up to a lot of stuff outside just the crypto betting, right? So how this works with BYB is, I'm being very transparent about this, is that at the end of the day, the market cap does not concern me in this project. Obviously, it will grow as we scale upwards, but at the end of the day, we are first and foremost a social experience app or a social betting app that just happens to be powered by blockchain. I'm not going up there saying, hey, I have a cryptocurrency. I'm saying, hey, I have this really fun app that you can use in crypto, because I'm sick of trying to get my grandma to buy SafeMoon or any other project. I'm sick of shilling things to people just so that everybody else can dump on them. If I want to make money and I want to make passive income, I'm going to buy Bet Your Beans. I'm going to stake it in the platform, and I'm going to get my friends to use this app. And because it's fun, it's got gamified experience. So that's how we're going to be taking money from people and using it to give it back to people who believe in the platform. You don't need to hold BYB to use the platform. You don't need to spend BYB to use the platform. We're going to take BNB and Crow for bets. So we're going to make it easy and accessible. And then that we'll take a portion of that goes back into the staking pool and keeps the APY high for everybody who's holding BYB and staked it. So that's kind of the rough overview of the economy. The other benefits to having BYB is that we are building out a massive gamify element to this. So every single bet that you make is going to earn you something called Bean Score. Every loss, every trade, let's say you win 5 wins in a row, you're going to be unlocking custom avatars. You're going to be unlocking things that are bragging rights. You're going to be unlocking titles. So think of it as kind of in-game cosmetics. You're going to unlock as you become successful at this platform. So your Bean Score is going to go up. You can look and see who's got Bean Score against you, who's higher, who's lower, who's highest on the leaderboard. So you get that competitive edge. And then you're going to be like, I just won. I just played against like the best Bitcoin bettor out there, and I got a custom avatar for it. Now you can go spend, a little bit of BYB and then buy that avatar that you've unlocked. So the BYB is going to be very stuck to the in-game economy, to the staking pool, and we want to make it as easy as possible for people to come on board and use the platform. So we're doing BNB and Crow off the top. We're going to be adding Ethereum 2.0. We're going to make it so you can come on board and use, almost anything to essentially place a bet in under a minute. So that's kind of the gist of the Bet Your Beans. We're also going to be taking a percentage off every trade on the chart. Every buyer or seller is also going to be going back into the staking pool to keep that APY high for people who invest and believe in the project, so they can continue to earn passive income, which is going to be coming to them as BNB. It's the too long, didn't read version.
I was sending some funny bets to Buck, who's my coordinator. I was like, yeah, imagine we're on the golf course playing around. We just throw a bet into the system of something between the two of us and see if the community like bets on it, and of who would do what in like the round of golf. And I was like, bet Buck chunks one in the water or something like that. And he was like, yeah, man, that'd be pretty funny. So again, I completely get it. I love that element of it. It's something, going back to university days and stuff, you joke with your buddies when you're out at like you said, at the bar, or even just kind of playing some sports. I bet you can't catch this, or I bet you couldn't do that. And, it's real time. It's like you said, hopefully uploaded within a minute. Obviously connection, you got to have some form of connection to the internet. You can't be on the bush somewhere and then try and get it done. But, pending internet connection, I think that's just such a fun way to engage. And again, if you're, like you said, followed, or if, when the platform grows and people kind of know who you are within the community, and you put a bet up there and somebody sees it, maybe that bet starts to get some other action on there, right? And, it grows, and then that just plays into that fun, engaging kind of community aspect. So,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, I love it. I think it's really cool. Again, like you said, there's a lot more to it on the development side than the concept would kind of entail, like how I read it and explained it. And I'm not sure if maybe RJ or Benny are here yet, but we'll save some of the more technical or development stuff for them until once they jump in.
Yeah.
But community-wise now, I want to know how you guys are going to run maybe leaderboards, different contests and stuff. You touched on a couple of them, your Bean Score and that type of things. But how are you going to directly translate that from the app into some of the channels you guys have? Your Telegram, which is going to be more of a live read of the community, and it's going to be a little bit easier to engage in there and not have it get lost potentially within the app. So seeing what the integration or kind of community side of the TG with the bets is.
Gotcha. So that's something we haven't talked too much about yet, but I'm confident that as we move forward, like our scalability here is massive. And something that Sam has been focusing on is really starting to build stuff within the community, so that we can, start doing things where we are promoting who's the biggest bet of the week, who's got the biggest pot, who made the biggest gains. So like that can all get tied in a little bit further down the line. That's not going to be with us quite at launch, because we do have a very long road for development here for sure. But playing with our audiences and building up the social platform is a huge part of it. And so at launch, we're coming out with the Bean Score system at launch. That's the easiest way to kind of keep track of your process and where you're at. But we're going to be taking a lot of that development money. And while we're building the app and everything else that we can't talk about quite yet, we're going to be building the Be the Best, I'd call it a platform. So you can opt into the Be the Best platform. And now what you're doing is you are engaging essentially with social media profiles. So now you can have friends, you can have rivals, you can directly send DMs to people for game invites. And what it's going to do is now I'll be able to go and see who's the best Bitcoin bettor, who's got the highest win ratio. And there's going to be leaderboards that track all the different tokens that you're betting on for most bettors, biggest wins. And the other things that I can't dive into yet are also going to be tracking these stats. So now you can go take a look and be like, this guy's the best Bitcoin bettor on the market. I'm going to send him a bet right now, and I'm going to put this much money down. He only has to put this much, but I think I can take him on. So that's going to really start to build that taking on the big dogs when you're a little dog, when you think you can do something better than them. And that's going to, again, filter back into our entire community where people are now knowing who's the best at what. We want to start developing media content where every week we do a bit of a show and we talk about who the biggest bettors are and that type of stuff, the biggest wins. So there's a lot of potential here for the community and social aspect growth of the GameFi and the Telegram community integration. In regards to that, we do have RJ and Benny here if you guys want to unmute them, and maybe they can just talk a little bit about developing this for me. Again, these guys are incredibly smart. They're also Canadian like myself, really good dudes. There's been a lot of questions through the past about, security concerns and how to develop it. We know that this is a 3-month from the time of our pre-sale. We're looking at probably 3 months to get the version 1 of this out, because this is not a small project by any means. There's a lot of contracts to be done and a lot of work as well. So I don't know if RJ or Benny, you guys want to take the floor for a sec. Well, I got you. They're busy, man.
Yeah, do we got Benny unmuted there?
I don't see his hand up yet.
Okay, yeah, just raise your hand, Benny. They'll be able to find you that way.
There we go. Got him at the top.
There we go. What would you like to speak about or start with here, Matt?
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Probably a quick intro.
Yeah. Do a quick little intro about you guys, and then how you guys see this going and why you guys decide to help me out on this. And then, maybe just a little bit about the contract development, because we know it's quite complex across all these boards.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm just a little sick, guys, so just bear with my voice here. But yeah, I don't know how much he's told you about us. We came here a little late. We're from CoinFlect. Our main business, or corporate business, is Dependable, that does custom blockchain tools or even building blockchains for individuals. We do a lot of work within the European, North American, and Asian markets. For now, our business is getting more into smart contract consulting for publicly listed companies. So we have inroads as well with certain VCs like Dotted is one. We have Animoca Brands, who own Sandbox. So we have inroads with a lot of these individuals who work within GameFi. So that's an exciting opportunity that we want to kind of get in bed with them with Bet Your Beans. And in terms of just the technical aspect, as much as I manage product development and we do a lot of consulting, RJ is really the technical heart of the brains in the company. So I don't know if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit more about how our experience is with smart contract functionality, safe math, and all that good stuff. RJ.
Yeah, no problem. So when it comes to security and everything like that, we actually work heavily within the safe math area. And so we don't take anything outside of what Open Zeppelin or publicly listed audits would say that are considered ways to use coding that is very safe. So we don't go and do something that's experimental, because we always look for exploits. We look for tried, tested, and true coding. So anything you interact with won't be experimental from us. We just take things, make them work in such a way that Matt asked us to make it work, as long as it fits the parameters of this has been tested. It just hasn't been used in this way. So that's exactly how it's being built. Everything that Matt has asked, we've been able to find and say, yeah, that is no problem. We can absolutely piece that together for you. And everything that is handled by an individual launching, we're creating factory deployers to keep it decentralized, because we also really appreciate the decentrality of things. And so when somebody launches a bet, anybody from Bet Your Beans will have zero authority over that. So once it's put out onto the network for BSC, for example, or Crow, you guys are in full control of that. You own that contract. That contract is verified. You are the only ones who have right functions that were considered to be the owners. So the two people that are betting. We just want to make sure that it's put that way, that something that we built that's put out there isn't used in such a malicious way. And so that now you can feel safe doing it, because that you know that there's no back end owner that can change anything. But that also puts a lot of responsibility on make sure that you operate everything correctly. You know, don't lose your private seed phrase before the bet ends, because those are the only two addresses that are going to be able to move forward with making sure that that money gets released. There is no way that anybody else is in control except for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in addition to that, it's, a lot of the times, the work that comes our way is either repairing previous work, doing new work, or even just kind of consulting. And for us, we hear many different dimensions in how people decide to go into this space with NFTs and smart contracts. And one thing we really realize is that, it's still a virgin technology. No one really knows what to do with it. But the thing is, people make mistakes about the things that are in the community that they think will work. And for us, we have the capabilities. We definitely have the knowledge. We have the team. And I think that Matt came up with a good point. Is like why we decided to work with him. And although business is booming, we always like projects that are innovative. And again, we have inroads with a lot of BDs across the networks. And for example, something like Moonbeam, they're very interested in terms of inter-community projects that focuses on community and communication. And they have a $100 million grant that is set up for projects like Matt. And so not only do we have, the information, the access to different networks, because he does have plans to go multi-chain, although he's also operating a betting company, we do have a legal team that we work with for all of our projects that can guide him in terms of making sure he's compliant on a financial standpoint. So Matt has plans to do a legitimate business, but also has an innovative idea. And for us, it's important for us to work with projects that we believe in. And so we were selective in that process, but Matt's a friend that we met in the space. His idea is great. We have the capabilities, and we see the synergy to work together.
Beautiful. That was very nice. Thank you. These guys are awesome.
Very, very easy to listen to. That's for sure.
Sweet. That's that side of it. I hope all that made sense for you guys.
I think it just more than anything paints a picture of the quality and the type of work that these guys look to get involved with, right? And I think that's what having them on here today really should show people, right? I think you nailed it on the head, Matt, early when you talked about these types of platforms. Security is, often number one, especially when you talk about holding funds for those bets when, you never know. You could get some absolute whales in there, some chads who are throwing, trying to throw around $1,000 bets and stuff, right? So if that's the case, security does really become something that's paramount. So I think having these guys on here talking about their background, some of the other work that they've done, and again, being more in that repair and identification space on the development and the CA side is great when it comes to this type of platform where you guys are all aware, when there's money involved, especially the bigger it grows, the higher it scales, the exploits and stuff start to become more and more looked for. And that the fact that you have like a direct line to a team like this, and they again have direct lines to some big projects, some big names, advisory components potentially, if need be, depending on scale, that's fantastic. So just really appreciate them both taking the time. And again, love chatting with some fellow Canadians here on the channel as well.
Damn straight.
Stephen, myself, and Buck, all the same. So yeah, it's great to kind of meet you guys officially. Although Matt and I know we've chatted back in the spring when we hosted you previously. So yeah, man, again, it's I'm loving the ideas. I'm not a Solidity guy myself, so I couldn't understand the complexities. But the one thing I did get a DM about from one of our community members is there going to be a cool down period just from addressing the issue of gambling addiction more so than needing it for the platform? Because, just being able to bet on anything, anywhere, or jump in on multiple action. Again, it just self-control comes into play. Yes. But again, not everybody has that. So from a potential responsibility to negate some of the negativity that comes with anything to do with betting or wagering, do you guys have something like that in place, or would it be something that could be kind of built in?
Just to add for Matt, because the thing is that usually falls down to the country that you plan to register your business. And so in addition to that and where you want to operate, compliances need to be followed. So at this stage, I mean, although there are plans to go ahead and meet those directives in terms of addressing gambling addiction and such, when it gets to the phase when he's done launching his IP company that's going to hold the intellectual property and the technology, and then he's going to operate his other business that's going to be allowing to do the transactions outside of the country in a gambling friendly space, such as Isle of Man or the Cayman Islands. Then this next step from there would be to find out where exactly he wants to operate as a business, as a registered business, and then he'd have to follow the compliances of said country. So it's too early to answer that question, but that has been discussed, hence why we have this information, and we have this information that's actionable to provide to you guys. It's just, it all depends on where the end business will result. And obviously that comes with tax advantages.
I understand too, like what you're saying, Maurice, too, is also like, yeah, there's the legal limitations of protecting people from themselves and making sure that they're allowed to gamble, but there is also like, the moral and ethical side of it as well. And, we've done a little bit of research into it too, is that like, the difference between this and going to the casinos is that there's a social element to it. And we don't see people coming on board and going and placing 10 big bets all of a sudden in a heartbeat. This is a platform where, like, if you want to bet on the crypto market, you're gonna want to be doing your homework and doing your research. Honestly, if people want to, gamble their money, just go hop into any DJ that pops up every day of the week. This is an opportunity for people. We're all gambling here. We're in this space, but this is an opportunity to, like, smartly gamble. This is to make wise decisions and put some money down on the line because you think you've got something figured out against somebody else. So, if we think that people are having a problem, and we're going to be able to track what people are betting and how often and stuff like that, I think, we'll be able to put in some sort of measures. But as we scale upwards and we really expand this, like we have the sports API where now football games are being added. Now you can go bet on that. Then we're going to track all those wins and losses and see who's the best guy over there, who's got the most, the most successful bets on the, European Football Club or whatever. As you scale up into the legit business, we're going to do whatever we need to do to follow the guidelines for people who might have a gambling addiction. And if we think there's a problem, we'll be able to address that at the time. But I think the social element of this is going to make it a little more difficult for people to just come on board and start spending money. Because sure, you can make an open bet and you hope somebody takes you up on that, but nobody might take you up on that bet. You know what I mean? They might not like the parameters. So you're going to meet people that you want to play against, or you're going to be using the leaderboards to play against people. You're not just walking into any online sports casino, and there's tons of them out there, even in the crypto space, and you're just dropping Bitcoin after Bitcoin with every, pull of the lever. That's not how it's going to work here. So it's going to be a bit of a slower process, and it's very socially driven so that you guys can have fun while you're betting.
Yeah, at the end, it's good to know and to remind individuals that this is a peer-to-peer platform. And although that the company does host the bets, Again, we have, I guess you could say, Matt can also rely on us because one of our customers that we consult for on smart contracts is the cloud computing provider for 25 of the biggest Malaysian sport betting book companies. So we have those kind of things to rely on to provide him with this information and guidance, that we can put him in touch. So for all of the touch points that may be concerns at a compliance level and a technological standpoint as well, we're best suited to help Matt as well to move forward with that. Like those aren't necessarily concerns, but they're great ideas and great points to bring up that have been addressed in the formation of this idea.
Oh, nice. Well said.
I think on that standpoint, it did kind of lead into one of the things that Benny was saying there, kind of led into something what I was thinking about. I mean, I know, again, you mentioned it does come down to where you guys decide to officially set up, but the language that will have to be communicated depending on where people are accessing or seeing the site. Now, do you guys have plans to maybe tailor the positioning of how you guys do it? And I think that peer-to-peer makes it a lot easier, but how do you guys plan on kind of positioning the platform? Because that on the website, it does say bet to earn. So I know right off the top, some countries or some regions would just look at that right there and say, well, what types of betting? And that would maybe create a discussion that might be avoided if the wording or positioning is a little bit different.
Well, there's definitely friendly countries, like right off the top of my head, I know Isle of Man, like we consulted on Lucky Ferry on ETH it wasn't that we built the project, we just consulted. Cyprus is obviously friendly. Cayman Islands is obviously friendly. Bahamas is. At that point, the only issue is you can't hire a director. You have to hire a CEO who lives 6 months out of the year. Mm-hmm. There's ways to work around this. In terms of play to earn and other structures within the coin, you can obviously divide the asset and the platform. So that's why the first stage of the company is to hold the IP. And then I license that IP out to another holding company that'll be able to hold, not only operate the IP, but also hold the security, which would be the asset, which would be the token. So again, it's not necessarily language. It's just how creative can you be on a legal level and allocate some funds to make sure that you don't hire a director that takes your orders or that acts on your behalf. You just have to hire a CEO that is a rational person that you can say is divided from or separated from you. It's the kind of thing where you have to say, I advise you to do this, which means do this, except you just have to say it the right way. We can go so far in terms of the creativity of how certain live, but it's always good to have three different businesses when you're dealing with gambling and asset protection, especially as a Canadian. So, we have the best lawyers on the East Coast. We've dealt with Morneau Chappelle. We've dealt with some of the big guys, Richter. We're comfortable, and Matt has that at his disposal when he feels ready to move forward and proceed.
Beautiful. I think that kind of answers my questions with regards to like the legality side and the positioning on that. So I appreciate you guys really going into some detail, and thought process at this point in a project is the most important thing, just to see the discussions and the, sometimes tough discussions that have been had within a team is very, very important. So thank you guys for going into that. The one area I think we didn't really touch on is marketing, right? Because you guys have, again, you definitely are bridging the gap of the real world to crypto in the sense that, yes, you do need a wallet, obviously connection wise, to jump in and place bets, but then on the flip side, you could literally bet on anything in real life with your friends that maybe don't have a wallet, right? So there's kind of two components. So how are you going to go about, again, getting people to understand about the app and the real world fun side of it, and then want to sign up a wallet? And then how are you going to position it to those people that, already have a wallet, already are TG, and it would be a much simpler kind of addition for them to jump into, or transition, sorry, wrong word.
So what I would say to that is obviously off the top here, we're going to be targeting crypto users. We're not we'll do the regular instructional video. If you want to get on board and you don't know how to use crypto, here's how you build a wallet. Here's how you do all this type of stuff. But at the end of the day, our initial audience is going to be crypto users. Everybody sits there and talks about the market and what's going to happen to it. And, I think as everybody likes to think they're the best at calling the shots as well. I mean, how many call channels are out there that are like, hey, guess what? We called this first. We got this. So we're very competitive people naturally are for the most part, and especially in the crypto space. We all like to flex on each other. So, those are the people that we want to target off the top. We want you guys to come on board and understand how easy the app is to use, get on board and start watching your social profile ranking go up and start seeing that you've got, higher win-loss ratio than compared to other people's. And you use that as bragging rights, and you get people starting to challenge you, trying to take you on in that aspect. So, that's kind of the starting small version of it. Obviously, once we get the sports API going, that's going to be huge. The Be the Best platform, all of that is going to start building this self-perpetuating cycle of like being the best and being able to prove that you're the best. Scalability wise, the other products that we're going to be adding further down the line are only going to bring us to a wider audience, massively bigger than we're targeting off the top here. And then it's like, the cat's out of the bag. It's time to run with that. Marketing wise, we're building a brand here, and we've been very clear about that from the beginning. When I first met Sam, who's in here right now, I was like, I want to find our targeted demographic. And he's like, what? He's like, nobody talks like that in the space about targeting demographics. And I was like, well, we have to. Like, where do we go from here? And Sam went off and looked into China and Brazil and how we can target those markets. Right. At the same time, we're like, what's our story? Where's our mascot? And Sam as well came up with the idea of Jack from Jack and the Beanstalks. The guy who sold everything for a couple golden beans, shot him up into the clouds, found the golden goose eggs, and, had this crazy adventure. It's literally a story of crypto. So now we've got this great character, Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and we're going to be shooting viral videos. We're going to have the two guys playing pool, the two Chad bros, playing against each other. They don't have any money on them. They're both crypto users. Oh, well, let's bet your beans on it, or, put some money on the table. They got nothing. And out of nowhere, Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk pops up. Oh, you want to bet your beans, do ya? And boom, off they go. Okay, they use the app, and we'll have all these funny scenarios that we can create content for, because we are not going to limit ourselves to just calls and AMAs and sitting here in the Telegram space. We want to build this into a fun betting brand that moves outside the crypto space. Ideally long term, we'd love to get fiat integration into a built-in wallet. We want people to be able to come on board, not even think about the blockchain technology, use a credit card. We still get our 5%. That still goes to holders as passive income, keeps that staking pool high, but they come in and they make a bet. Now that's obviously long term. There's a lot more things to have to do to scale to get to that point. But we think that the world is our oyster, because there's nothing like this in the crypto space. And once we expand and branch out into the other things that are currently kept top secret, you'll see there's literally nothing like this out there in the world at this point in time. So, the scalability is huge. The branding is going to be a big part of it. And we want you to think fun, playful. I'm going to take $5 off my buddy within 5 minutes. Let's go play something against him here on a chart, right? So it's
we also know that Mass Project is innovative. Like, for example, in Texas, we were at Consensus and we met with the BD Alec Cobra, who manages BSC. When he asks questions, he's very to the point. So we know what they look for, and these guys can also provide support. CoinFlect is already in the process of being qualified for over 20 grants across 20 different networks for smart chains. So we know what they like. So we also know that we can provide these type of level of grant application advice to Matt, because for them, what they care about is smart contracts that generate the most amount of transactions. That's why they give out these grants. And so a project like this, not only on a community level, peer-to-peer based betting generates massive TXs, and that's what they love to support. So in addition to the marketability, the brand, the beginning levels of marketing, traditional betting tactics such as discounted pay-per-clicks, and all the fun gravy stuff that go about when you see all those ads for betting, but on a more crypto-based focused user group online that are targeted. These are the things that these guys have planned out. And so getting support from these chains is going to be very easy. Like I said, one of our guys from Moonbeam told us about the $100 million grant specifically focused for peer-to-peer inter-blockchain communication. So we know he'd qualify for $50,000 US, Moonbeam. So these are things that we know that we're giving them this advice as part of our consulting. So we, at this point, this is a company that's scaling, and this amount of scalability requires a support also from the chains. And they've already mapped out everything they need for their success.
Yeah, I don't think I really have much to say to that other than Sounds awesome. Like honestly, like it's something Matthew's talked about earlier. He sees these projects and he's like tired of shilling something around to his buddies because he likes the idea, and then his boys jump in, and then they jump in and they get dumped on by people who are in earlier. And he's just like kind of got to the point where he's like, I'm tired of that way about the space. So I love the way that you guys position that. And again, when you can show a certain level of professionalism, it may go past some people, because I know some people are still kind of interested in more quicker flips in the space until it grows and continues to develop. But again, for somebody like myself who comes from the business world, I love what you guys are saying, and the way that you guys position, the support perspective, definitely. So thank you for that.
Thank you. We appreciate that. I mean, we know that most of the people here, yeah, they just want the quick money. You know what I mean? Like 90% of the people listening to this probably aren't going to be interested because they're like, oh, you're not launching in a week and I can't just dump on your chart. But if you get that 10% who end up joining and then actually listening and then actually buy the NFT and believe in it, and they start talking to other people, but like, holy shit, these guys are actually doing something in this space. Like they're out here, they're going to innovate, they're building a business, they're doxed on the website. Like you don't see that very often down here. So again, like this is all about building community, being honest, transparent. We're not going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes, but we're not here to pull the rug over your eyes. Like this entire fucking space is full of, shadows and daggers, and everybody wants to hide from everything. But at the end of the day, if you want to build a business, you got to put your face out there. You have to build the trust of the people in the community and get that confidence in them. And so, like, we're here to do things differently than most projects out there. And I'm super excited for what we have. And we have a bang up team, most of us from Canada. And if you guys like what you're hearing and you just want to ask us some questions too at any point, feel free to. Like, our DMs are always open. If it's a marketing proposal, we're probably good for a while though on that end.
No, I mean, yeah, it's very refreshing, guys. And I think we talked about the community aspect a good amount. Marketing we covered. You guys went through detail on some of your connections, the expertise you could provide on the security and the actual platform itself. So I appreciate that. I mean, Matt did an awesome job early before you jumped in as well, kind of explaining his vision for the project and the inspiration behind it. And we jumped a lot into the fun side of it. So, making sure that we didn't miss any major aspects. We'll make sure to, once you get that NFT's private sale link, Matt, just send it over to me so I can be sure to edit that onto the channel as well.
Okay.
Mentioned, once you guys have your pre-sale in the coming weeks, so we'll put out a follow-up post just letting everybody know, because as you mentioned, sometimes people forget. I like to make the joke, if you guys have watched Ted Lasso, sometimes, people in the space are a little bit like goldfish, that 7-second memory reset. So, yeah, like, for me, I'll make sure I get that post up, but just wanted to double check we didn't miss anything, because I'd love to open it up to some questions here from our community and see what they have to think. Any thoughts they have, suggestions, ideas.
Okay. I think Sam might still be in here.
Yeah.
Just in case I missed anything. He said he put his hand up a while ago, but he's also at work right now, so he might have had to duck back out here. We've got. Yeah. So Sam is here. He's got his hand up, and we also have Carmen Crypto as well. Carmen's our partner strategist. So if they want to say a couple words or something too, Sam, we'll let you know if I missed anything.
I got Carmen's hand.
Carmen's always a pleasure.
Didn't see Sam's hand pop up, but I know you mentioned he's at work right now. So
yeah, he says he's in here. He might. Sam dash bet your beans. There he is. He's got the photo of a dorky looking dude.
Oh, there it is, down in the bottom half of the.
Part of our AI generated Ryan Reynolds is Jack and the Beanstalk face. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys. I just wanted to come in and pop in quickly and say hi. I've been listening for a little while here, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. I think a lot of it was covered very well, but I just wanted to say, first and foremost, one of the things that piqued my interest, Maurice, is when you were talking about the gambling problems. That's something that I've been concerned about as well from the start of this, and something that I take very seriously. And there are a lot of different metrics and different things involved with other websites that we're going to be gleaning from. Like if you do think that you're having an issue, there's options where you can have a deposit limit that you set for yourself. There's also flags that we can put on profiles that if they're starting to do things that are kind of signals of problems, then we can address that, and we can even just reach out to those people. That is something that I take very seriously, and our team does as well. Other than that, I think there's a lot of really exciting things. And again, we want to be as transparent as possible, but in the space, we do need to keep a couple things hidden, but they're going to really help out with marketing as well, because there's some gambling influencers that some of these functionalities, when they come out, it's going to be a massive improvement to what they're already doing, and they're going to be very excited about it. So I'm incredibly excited. Thanks very much for having us here, and looking forward to meeting some more of you here. Feel free to DM me anytime as well.
Thanks so much.
Send him.
It's great to meet you.
Yeah, send
Don't
him
send him
all your
100
marketing
DMs.
proposals. Marketing proposals can go to Sam, okay, everyone? He's going to try and kick me out of my own group.
At least I let Sam talk first. You can send all the marketing proposals over there. I want partnerships coming to me. Yeah, thank you so much for unmuting me. I always take a chance to join these calls to, first and foremost, I'll introduce myself, but I want to introduce these guys. In this space, I have found myself on my own journey becoming secretary of the Nevada chapter of the Blockchain Association. I also specifically work with large entities that work with legacy VCers that are looking to adopt Web3 technology, be at the forefront of pioneering, movement and momentum within this space. So my role on the team was not a hard decision to make, because these guys have been around. They've actually helped me grow within this space, and they're not going anywhere. With Benny and RJ and Matt together, this is a powerhouse team. The development and the technology is going to be solid, and our marketing strategy within my wheelhouse is going to be about making sure that nobody else out there ever has to recreate this technology, because they're going to know that we have it. It increases community engagement. It increases so many different sectors of Web3 technology that's growing to help bring this within their sphere and help encourage people to, hey, put your money where the mouth is. Whether it's a retail investor or, I'm not in Canada, I'm a Sin City girl. So when it comes down to all of the potential partners globally that we can take a look at and say, hey, use our platform. Everything that's being built in Web3 right now is an opportunity to onboard the masses. This is one of those people. It's one of the teams that I wanted to be on because of who is running it. The fact that we're fully doxed, these little standards that we hold in our space right now on what we want to put our money in, these guys hit it and then beyond, right? They're thinking about it in terms of a scalable business, long-term, how do we grow? What you're seeing right now is just the start. And it's truly, truly an advantage to everybody who's sitting here in this call today to say, hey, for one NFT, I get to be a part of the foundation of this process. There's going to be a lot of potential partners out there that want this platform, that don't want to take the time or the dedicated time that the devs have spent developing this technology to make sure it can be executed, it's safe, and that it's going to be 100% legit.
Incredible. Again, I just DM'd my coordinator as well. I'm like, man, presentation just keeps getting more exciting by the minute. The fact that you're based in Nevada and have worked with the Blockchain Association. I like joked to my buddy Buck, who runs the giveaways and all, like the coordination of our winners here for the channel. I'm like, oh, I wonder what else is in Nevada. Oh yeah, Las Vegas. Oh, I think they like money there. So I was like, that's not a bad thing, right? So.
We figured we better get an American on here as well. You know what I mean? It can't be all Canadians. So equal opportunists here.
I love it, and yeah, it's a very impressive team that you definitely have put together over here. Personally, I mean, I'd love to just get some community members in here for some questions. So
let's do it.
I'm going to open it up here first to. I don't know if Willie's still in the chat. I don't know. I'll see if he is. He had a kind of an interesting suggestion. Don't know how it would work. I liked it. I like the idea though. So Give him a second. If not, I'll just read it out because I know he sent it to myself and to Buck as well. So he was just curious, have the team given any thought to removing the 5% fee on transactions potentially, and instead being able to generate some form of advertising revenue by requiring an individual or somebody to watch a short video before they participate? It would kind of remove that pressure of paying a small fee to bet against your friends, and would still be able to generate some of that sustainable revenue for the platform.
I mean, so the only problem with that is like, we want a really seamless user experience. And like anywhere else, you kind of pay to not have advertisements. At the end of the day, the 5% fee coming off you is really not that much. If you have $200 or $100 in the pot, you know what I mean? Like it's not an insane amount. That's the fee that we're starting with. We think it's going to work to keep the staking pool high for the investors. If we start bringing in advertisements and trying to cover costs with that, I think we're moving a little too far into the mobile phone gaming section where like, okay, you can keep playing, but you have to watch this video every once in a while. That would require a very, very large amount of users to compensate to get the amount of money to keep that staking pool high if we take that money out of the betting fee. If we drop the betting fee, we have to find another source of income to actually keep that staking pool high for the investors. Right? Because at the end of the day, like if I'm invested, I don't want to sell anyone a cryptocurrency. I'm going to try and get them to use the app. And to do that, I need to make sure that the rewards and the passive income that are coming in are kept relatively high. It's an interesting idea. And I think as we scale upwards, who knows what type of opportunities we might have to try and integrate ads versus a betting fee. We're looking at our second line of NFTs, maybe lowering betting fees. But yeah, it's very, very interesting food for thought. We'll definitely have a team chat about that. I mean,
it's definitely more scalability as well. 5 may be high, but think of it like when you go to a casino and you place your bets, there's rakes, right? And so at the time, like with companies that are dealing in this space, expansion, scalability, features, compliance, everything costs money, especially to continue building. So these are the type of things where as volume and the user base grows, the percentage fee drops. Like that would be a way to solve this 5%. But again, like Matt said, based on his ideas and what he wants, based on a team meeting, these are things that could be addressed. But at the end of the day, don't forget this is made to be a business, and again, the fees go back into staking. So the fee leaves, take your funds and go back and stake. Right? It's the simple answer to get back more of that revenue.
I think too, like in the long-term idea, is it Netflix or there's some other subscription TV service that is going to be offering, I think, a free version of it, but they're going to give you advertisements like regular TV would. If they had 10,000 subscribers, that wouldn't be worth it. You'd have maybe one person decide to actually buy something from that advertisement. When you've got millions of people who are now using a service for free, you have a better turnaround and click-through rate to actual product purchase that would then give us money back. So yeah, scalability-wise, I think down in the long term, I definitely think something like that is something we could be looking at. But yeah, we'll start with the 5%, and we'll talk to the community, and we'll see how we get going on from there, I guess. But really interesting idea. That's a great question.
Perfect. Yeah, no, Willie, good suggestion. He's typically pretty active here, and he definitely is, always looks kind of like the real world kind of revenue streams and stuff like that. So I love that one, Will. We're going to get Sujay in here for a question next, if that's okay. And then we'll try maybe Crypto Hunter or AKT. Haven't heard from them in a while.
Hey, Maurice.
Hey, what's up? Go ahead whenever you're ready, Sue.
Yeah. Hey, Sam. Hey, Matthew.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. So I was also kind of thinking on the same lines as Willie's suggestion there, but I was thinking from what I read, it says when both parties accept the bet, the transaction fees is deducted, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking instead of collecting the fees from both parties, why not collect the fees from the winner only?
So the problem with that is, let's say we have a bunch of people come on board and do custom bets with Subways and sandwiches with their friends and stuff like that, or whatever they want to do. Now we have to wait for them to finalize that bet. And if they never finalize that bet, we're not benefiting from that. So it's easier for us to kind of take a little piece off the top from both of them, than to do it any other way. I understand we need to collect it from the winner, but now we're waiting on everybody to validate. And if somebody does a bet for $10,000 that in 5 years Bitcoin is going to be this, we're not getting that income for another 5 years. So we want to take that money off the bet off the top, and we want to wash our hands of that matter, as much as possible. Right. So the sooner, we got the 5%. If it's run through the cryptocurrency thing, it's going to automatically get validated. If it's a sports bet, that'll automatically get validated based off whatever sports APIs we're able to offer. If it's a custom bet, we're going to take that from the top too, because at that point, we can't even validate that bet. We can have a third party person connect with their wallet and be the authenticator of that. But it's easier for us to just take a little piece off the top and that's it. And at the end of the day, we're talking 5% of a giant pool. It's not that much, and we think that the benefits and the social stuff that we're offering, it's a pretty normal fee for that. It's an interesting idea to only punish the winner, but then yeah, we'd be waiting on bet validation, I think, for way too long, and I think we'd have a very hard time keeping app development funded off the top, especially as we gain traction.
Hey, Matt.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that these bets are not time bound. I mean, so they can run for as long as the two parties wish to, right? So if you're betting,
exactly,
like you said, okay,
yeah,
then it doesn't make sense, because then you're just waiting. So also now you say that initially it's going to be the top 10 currency movements, which will be auto generated and auto validated, and we just have to enter. But if I'm trying to set up a custom bet, something just random, like you gave a few examples, does the app just give me sort of a blank GUI based bet builder where I can enter the information of what I want to place a bet on, and then it generates a URL that I can forward off to people?
Yeah. So exactly what you're going to do is you're going to go just make a custom bet, and instead of betting on a crypto chart, it's just going to have a big wall of text, or like a block to write text in, right? And you're going to have at the bottom, like every bet that you make is going to have the built-in chat running at the bottom, right? Specifically for the bet. So you and your buddy can be like, okay, I think I can do this by that time. Let's say you're not together. Let's say you're making a sports bet and you're not in the same room. Then you can go through and do that. You type it up top, so you've got that written in the smart contract of, Bob thinks this will do this at this baseball game by this time. And then you just both sign your wallets again, and off you go. Yeah.
Okay. So when we sort of make random stuff up to bet, if there are disputes, do you get involved in any way, or is it just between the two parties, because they've already
it's so we're going to leave it between the two parties, and we're going to make an instructional video about how to take a baseball bat to somebody's knees. We think that's really no, I'm just joking. We're not going to do that. We're going to leave it up to you. Like, if you're betting against somebody, it's up to you guys to have that faith and trust in them to follow through. If at the end of the day you guys, one of you won, the other guy lost, you don't want to validate it, maybe you guys aren't friends anymore, you're never going to talk, you can both elect to withdraw, and at least you get your 95% that you paid out back, right? So there is going to be that option. And I was thinking today, we'll probably end up doing something where, like, over a certain amount of time, let's say it's a custom bet, and then it never gets validated, those guys just disappear off the platform. We might end up doing like an automatic reversal of the charges. They get their 95% back. So it just kind of makes sense. RJ, you did you want to chime in for a second there on something? RJ dead.
No, I was just I had to go and then came back. I was just seeing if you needed me for anything.
Oh, okay. No, he has the first question. I thought you were going to chime in for a sec, but no, buddy, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, great. Just the last thing. This is initially just going to be 1v1, right? And you can't like have a group of people betting on something.
Initially, we're looking at 1v1, but this is where like that, the scalability is going to come into play here. By keeping it 1 versus 1, it's really just a peer versus peer, and we're standing in the background saying we're providing a service. We're going to help connect you guys. We're going to give you guys some gamification. You're going to be able to connect and have bragging rights, and we're going to make this fun. We're going to start doing our media where we're calling out who the biggest bettors of the week, who's winning. We want people to come on board and use this platform and be engaged in it, right? It doesn't mean that down the road, though, some of the other further things that we'd like to develop might include more than one person in it, but we can't really dive into that too much yet at this point in time, because somebody with a lot more money is going to come along and try and do what I want to do, and then I'll be sad. I don't like that.
Got it. Wonderful. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Great questions, man.
Thanks,
You guys have honestly had like the best questions so far. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to give him some bonus beans now for that. Come on, man. No,
spend them all on this AMA.
Yeah, we're good. Let's go. So who did I say next? I think I said Crypto Hunter and AKT, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll go maybe Hunter here first. If you're ready, Hunter, floor is yours. We'll give.
He's thinking really hard. This
connection. I got a phone call coming through, so I can't even do anything until it goes away. I don't want to mess up the call, but there we go. It's gone. All right, so now I can go, because I know Buck has also sent. Some of our community members obviously don't have mics.
Yeah.
Hello, Maurice. Can I ask a simple question?
Yeah, go ahead. Who is that? We're just about to read a question from Buck. Is that Solomon? Sure, Solomon. Go ahead. I don't know if we've heard from you in a long time.
You have about 4 NFT rarities. Would the rewards for holding them be the same?
No, because you've got, I believe we have 120 NFTs that are going to give 115% above pre-sale value of tokens pegged to it. Let me just find the numbers here real quick. Then we've got 50 NFTs that give you 130%. So you're going to drop, let's say you get that one, you drop a BNB on it to buy the NFT, you're going to come out with 1.3 BNB worth of tokens pegged to it. We're going to have 25 that are going to give you 140%, and then we're going to have 5 that are going to give you 160% pre-sale value. So that one NFT will be worth 1.6 BNB right off the top, and that's before our market cap. That's at launch. So right away, already that NFT is going to skyrocket with the value of the pegged NFTs.
Okay, no problem. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks for the question, brother.
Nice, easy question there. Crypto Hunter, it looks like you got in. So if your mic's good, you can go ahead. I'm still looking to see here. You got a few. Oh, yeah, we have one from Baby Boy here. Romano 0011. So curious to know what the withdrawal time frame is like. This is what a lot of bettors complain about, the delay in actually being able to withdraw the money from their wins. So I want to ask, how soon would my win be able to reflect in my wallet? Is it, again, dependent on the other person paying, or is there some control or ability for the team to push the funds through?
So very, very good question. I don't see any reason why, let's say you both validate who's won or lost, you should be able to withdraw your money right away. You're both validating that bet. That's up to you guys. Whether I believe that we're going to be paying people out automatically when that's a good question for RJ though, but I think we were going to have people paid automatically when that bet gets validated if it's using one of our APIs, and automatically send it to that person. But we've also talked about whether we have it, we just alert them they've won it, and then they get to go and claim it, because then you kind of get that sense of reward, like, yeah, I got this, compared to showing up in your account. I don't know if you're still here, RJ. but I can't quite remember how we ended on that one. But that's a good question.
Sorry, what was the question? I'm here.
It was about what is the delay going to be to be able to claim, your winnings and stuff like that.
Until a win would be reflected in your wallet, essentially.
Are you talking about the custom bets?
Ooh, they did not specify actually in the questions. So
Yeah, I
can't
can't.
answering to you kind of on how you would interpret it.
Yeah, I mean, I said that custom bets you should be able to, you'll both validate and should be able to claim right away. The other bets, the API is going to validate that. How long will that take? And are they claiming it, or are we sending it straight back? My mind's drawn a blank on that.
Yeah, sorry. Everybody will have to claim it, and so you'll go in, and there'll be a general filter where it's like my bets, and so anything that you've interacted with, you'll be able to just have your own screen, and everything that you're deposited into will just be visible to you to be able to go back and be able just to hit claim, finalize whatever bet you generated is what you're going to interact with.
But it's not like a staking pool. There's no hold on your funds for a certain amount of time. Like, we're not doing anything with it. We don't even own those funds.
No, if you won and the blockchain validates like this information is true, that's complete. You'll be able to do it as soon as all of those block validations are done. So BSC is rather quickly. It'll seem instantaneous, but when you go to Ethereum, you got to wait for a few other validation on blocks. That's about it.
Nice.
Perfect. So Hunter, if your mic is ready to rock, floor is still yours. If you're still in here, man. If not, I am going to get. Who don't I recognize? We're gonna try Toad. Oh, Toad. Yeah, that's one of my favorite characters from Mario Kart. So you're up, Toad, sir.
Toad. I know Toad. He's gonna throw something at me. He's gonna throw something at me.
All right, Toad, floor is yours.
Toad.
He's still in. Oh, yeah, he got dropped. He's back now. He should be good.
Oh, it's all you, Toad.
Right. Toad, you're ready. You're ready to rock. Oh, Crypto Hunter got it. All right, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
You good?
Yep.
You good, Hunter?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah. So my question is, how do you plan on addressing issues surrounding sustainability for your project and protection against sudden and unnecessary dump? And
I heard how do you plan on
sustainability and dump.
sustainability, and then I heard prevent a dump, but that's kind of what I got from the question so far.
Yeah, so I mean, we kind of went over sustainability, how like the long-term growth of this project and how it's going to work. Again, I've been pretty upfront about I'm not too concerned about our chart. If you want to come on board and you want to buy the token, you want to sell the token, that's totally up to you. People can do what they want with their money. At the end of the day, the money is going to be going to the people who are using the platform, making victories against other people, and to the people who are staked in the platform and understand that the exponential growth of this is going to be bringing them passive income compared to dumping on a chart. It's one of the reasons we've separated the BYB token and the actual app itself. So no matter what our chart is at, it doesn't matter how low it is. It doesn't affect the amount of money that you make from passive income coming in from the amount of users who are using this app. So that's all I got. Sorry. Short.
I just I can maybe try and pull him off mute. I just put him on mute because I didn't want him to kind of pop off unexpectedly while you're mid-answer, because sometimes with the delay on these, I find that happens. So
yeah,
I'll throw him off
no
mute
worries.
here, just make sure the answer was okay, and then I see Toad still back in here at the top. So whenever Toad's ready, you can go
I'm
ahead.
ready. I'm ready. Sorry about my mic. I wasn't working before.
Okay,
But,
dude, it's Telegram.
yeah.
Just
Hey Matt, how are you?
Good, Toad. How you doing, bro?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good to see you.
Great. Great way to explain your project. I have one question.
Thank you.
How are you gonna get around online betting in countries like the USA?
So again, this is kind of like, we're going to be getting a proper lawyer on board when we come to it. Our scale, as we scale upwards, we're going to make sure that we're doing everything legally where we can. I mean, part of the beauty of the blockchain is there's certain things that you can kind of get away with. We're obviously launching with the basic app, and we're not super concerned about that stuff off the top, but we will have the funds to start doing the research that as we scale upwards and become a bigger platform, that we're going to be protected on that end. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know where you're connecting from. I'm offering a service. There's a certain amount of your responsibility as somebody wherever you live to make sure that what you're doing is or isn't legal, right? When we become an actual company and we branch out, then there will be a little bit more, I think, responsibility on us. But it's like a country where it's illegal to watch porn. It's up to you to whether you're going to try and watch porn or not in your country if somebody else is providing the service. You know what I mean? So, legally, as we grow, we're going to make sure that we're keeping that more in lines with every country's rules and regulations. But again, it comes down to where we offering this service from. Will change about exactly how legally responsible we are for that.
Sounds good. You did answer my question.
And hopefully it was right. Benny or RJ is going to come back around and tell me I just blew smoke out my ass, but I think I'm in the right avenue for the legal stuff. I'm not a lawyer, but we're starting small. We're keeping it simple off the top. We're providing a service. You're not betting against us, and I think that helps us out a lot.
Yeah, I can just jump in here too as well, because it's not dabbling in fiat at the moment as well. It's operating under kind of a different premise. Same way that if you go to a casino, they have casino chips, and they're not using those games of chance with actual fiat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's the whole games of skill aspect of it, where, say, if you enter a raffle, you have to answer a skill testing question. There are different sort of games of skill issues that come involved as well. Right now, it looks like we're operating totally fine, but we will be considering all those as we move forward for sure.
Beautiful. Well said, brother.
Awesome. Yeah, Toad, great question too. Coming in with the hard hitters. I like it.
I expected it.
That's what you want. That's what you want from people who are following and active in your network too. People who know what to look for. So great to see. I do like to kind of transition between people with mics and without. So I am going to get another one in here that Buck sent over. There's a few. Oh, baby boy actually had another one he said earlier before his first one even. He was engaged on this one. I like it. So this one we will try. Oh, actually Martha has a kind of a cool question here. She had another one earlier in the week for a project I really like too. So she's got some gems. So this one's from
Nice.
Martha Idris. So AO Martha R. Her question is there a reward or participation for somebody that maybe, for example, bets quite often, so would have a high bean score, but never wins? So again, kind of making sure you're keeping that positivity. You don't feel like you're always getting beat by the system, or, your luck's just kind of crappy, right?
That's a really great question. I mean, part of the unlockables that we want to have is we want to encourage people to play, whether they're winning or losing all the time. We want them to come and have this fun experience. So that's where, let's say you play often but you don't win enough. We'll be having, a custom, like a cool avatar, something that we're going to unlock and let people use is you play a lot of the time, maybe you don't win a lot, but there's going to be these unlockables, whether it's achievements or titles like you get in Skyrim, like Master of the Betting Ceremonies. You're like, I like that one. I'm going to put that on my account. So, there's things like that will happen. I'm also not opposed to, as we move forward, looking at how people's win and losses ratios and seeing how we can make it a better experience for the people that might not be winning as much as well. Like if you're not winning a lot and you're doing terrible at the platform, you're not going to be as compelled to play it. And again, with the social media aspects that we're going to have, like we're going to want people to kind of get educated too, so they can increase their win ratios, so they feel like they have a chance to win some money off other people while still increasing, their social media profile here on the platform. So I think it's a really great question, and I think it's something that we will definitely think about to make sure that everybody feels like they're getting value from the system, regardless of whether they win or not. Again, if you're staked, if you've got passive income in the platform, you would be wise to go drop some money in on the pre-sale or buy an NFT. And then let's say you're making, $50 a week off that as our volume goes up. At least you've got $50 you can go throw into a pot here and there and try and make some money back as well. So, I think every loss is an opportunity to learn, and we're looking forward to doing what we can to make sure everybody feels like they have a chance in the system. So, but that's a really good question. I'm going to circle back around to that with Sam and see what we can maybe do for that. That was a good one. That was a hard one.
I'll jump in here too quickly. That I was thinking the same sort of thing there, Martha, because when you have these platforms, it gets dominated by the top tier players of Call of Duty, or say somebody makes the biggest bets because they have the most amount of capital. We want to appeal to everybody, right? So we want to have those options for, say, you're on there every Friday consistently betting on the Blue Jays, or you could be the most committed Blue Jays fan or whatever. We want to be able to have those options so that every single person can be a part of this gamification. We don't want to cater it to the highest tier. We want to be able to make sure that everybody can enjoy it and have fun in a fun, friendly, safe manner, right? So we're going to be definitely looking at community feedback on that. And great question. That's definitely going to be a priority for us to make sure that everybody is involved in the same way and it's not just dominated by one group of people.
Again, Martha, you might have won another one today. So great question there. I really appreciate the
Hello,
the
Maurice. Can I make a
different look at
suggestion?
things. Oh, who's that? Is that Jacob? Somebody's popping in there. Scared me there. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
Would you maybe consider having a referral code so that people can use it and invite their friends to the betting platform?
The QR code from the sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say the QR code generated is kind of that way to share it around within your network. But sorry, Matthew, I didn't mean to cut you off there on that one.
No, don't apologize, bro. It's all good. I apologize for making you feel bad for having to apologize about cutting me off, because this is what we do in Canada a lot. It's the QR code is essentially you getting somebody else to the platform and referring them to it. We have had some discussion about when we really want to start getting members and driving things forward. Maybe we'll have some sort of referral the first time that people come on board and use a bet, or maybe we lower betting fees for a certain amount. I mean, here's the thing with the GameFi platform, the world is our oyster. Everybody knows when you go play a game of Call of Duty and you're earning XP, you might unlock this card that's going to give you double XP for a while or stuff like that. I think that we're going to have opportunities to reward players for what they're doing with smaller items that will either, maybe double the amount of bean score. Maybe you get a custom avatar that you can buy, that only unlocks if you refer 5 people to the platform and stuff like that. Maybe you get a ticket that is going to change, how some of the betting is going to work for a little while. So there's so many things that we can do to scale this platform to keep rewarding people with little presents along the way as they play and they bring their friends on board. Especially if we start building groups, people who want to chat and talk about a football club, and you get enough people in those groups and you start building custom content for them. I mean, when we get a good design team who's on board and we're just thinking all the time about what achievements can we give, what badges can we give, what avatars can we build for new things that we're releasing, we're going to have very consistent content coming out for people. And I think a referral system could be in the works there for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for the answer.
Thanks so much for the question, Jacob. It was a nice, simple one. Nothing wrong with that, though. Is very relevant to this. So appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll jump in here. Let you guys again. Let me know, man. We've already been going half an hour. We do have some other questions that have been sent. This is the last one of the day. Essentially, once we jump off, I have to go take the GF out to dinner because I think I'm 6 months overdue on a dinner date. So gotta go get that. Gotta go get that solved at some point. I said I would take her in the
Yeah.
spring. She's like, "Okay, it's fall now. Are we gonna ever go to a patio dinner this summer?" Or
It was spring of 2021, actually. Yeah.
so we have that question's been covered. Marky White, another simple one here. His question was just, is there a maximum number of bets you'd be able to place per day in the?
We don't have anything like that lined up right now. Again, we're going to kind of wait and see how it works out with people, whether there's any sort of sense of gambling addiction and stuff like that. Right now, we want you to come on board, and if you can get 10 friends on board and place 10 bets in one day about how you think Bitcoin is going to move, I don't think there's any reason to stop you from doing that. I mean, you can go to the casino and use the slots and place 10 bets in like a minute if you want. So, again, we think that people are going to want to be educated on what they're trying to bet on the crypto market. They're going to want to be educated on the sports side. And if they're doing a custom bet, it's going to be a little bit more fun, bet on anything. How fast can you eat 100 ice cubes type stuff? So I think all of that and trying to be smart in your investment, like anything else in the space, is going to come back around to you're going to be limited to what you feel confident in. We'll see how that changes again later on with our player base and the feedback we get from the community. But right now, there's no cap on the maximum amount of bets.
Perfect. And I actually had a question. Are you able to place multiple bets at the same time? Say, for example, you wanted to run a bet on, BTC, or run on a bet on ETH, maybe a bet on Crow. Would you be able to run bets on multiple chains at the same time?
Yeah, 100%. You would literally just pick Ethereum on the list and then go make that bet, and then you would go pick one for Bitcoin, run that bet. I mean, all those is making its own smart contract. So it'll send one off to validate that. It'll send one off that will validate that. It'll send another one off to validate that. So yeah, you can make as many bets as you want on whatever cryptos we're currently supporting. It doesn't really matter. No.
Perfect. And would you all doable within the same wallet, correct?
All doable within the same wallet. Yeah.
Awesome.
Generally. Yeah, you're on MetaMask that'll let you connect to any network that you want at the end of the day. Those bets being placed doesn't really matter because it's not, you're placing a bet for a movement on that chain, but you're not betting with money on that chain. You know what I mean? You're using BNB and Crow. Those are the first two coins that we're supporting to pay for your bet with. And the API is just going to go out and check and see what the chart's doing. So it's not taking your money and then putting it into Ethereum or putting it on that chain. It's leaving it where it is. It's going to validate it and just give you your reward back in BNB at the end of the day, right? So yeah, it's the scalability is massive with relatively simple to be. I mean, there's obviously development. But you know what I mean? Like we can add anything on any chain essentially at the end of the day. And as long as we can track it with the custom API, it doesn't really matter where it is because we're not having to actually bridge into that network with your tokens to validate it. Just because it's like we're not using BNB, BYB, right? So we're not having to take stuff, put it on the BYB chain and then bring it out and give it back to you at the end of the day. We're really keeping it simple. So we'll just build an Ethereum 2.0 version of the DApp at some point if you want to pay with Ethereum 2.0, and you would connect with that. But end of the day, whatever chains we add that we want to bet on a custom contract, it does its own little thing. Yeah. I might have got a little lost there. Apologies if that was confusing.
That was perfect, man. Just going through a couple of the questions. I want to make sure those are mostly covered. That's covered. Okay, so the ones Buck sent me are all been touched on there. Ray's this question, T-Rex's question, all been covered there. And we'll go maybe one more from the chat, and then we'll get into the closing statements if that works for you, Matt.
Sure, let's do it.
Terrific. So we will try Mr. Bite. He's had his hand up for quite some time. Hey, Mr. Bite, what's up? Did we lose Mr. Bite? Give me a couple seconds there. Okay. No, my coordinator. Oh yeah, I forgot Buck's got his fire training tonight too. Oh, yeah, our coordinator. He's a volunteer firefighter up where he lives as well.
Nice. He's up in Nelson. I'm calling it. No.
I forgot he's got his fire training in 10 minutes. Okay, so Mr. Bite, are you there? Looks like he got dropped. You know what? We had some really good ones, so maybe we'll just end on a strong note there. And we'll get to the closing statements because we obviously do have to sign these guys out. So, again, guys, NFT private sale comes up on Saturday. Matthew went through kind of what you guys can do to participate in that, what the different rarity levels would be. But again, if you guys forget, because again, it's probably going to happen between now and Saturday, just join their TG. You can find the pinned message there, which outlines the details. Again, they will obviously be updating it further as Saturday approaches. I will also go in and edit the link to that onto our channel once I get it from the team, just so you guys can find it there. But overall, really love the presentation. Team-wise, phenomenal background, very professional, very well put together. And, I love how you guys are very open as well to feedback and suggestions and how you guys take it in. It seems like you have a great working relationship, which is very important, I think, in the DeFi and the crypto space, because that's not the case, with a lot of teams, I find.
Nope.
It seems very, let's say, siloed the way that things are handled and approached. You go do this, you go do this, and there's definitely a lack of communication I find often between teams. So, just the fact that RJ, Benny, Carmen, Sam were able to jump in here at different points of the AMA and, add different value to the conversation. Really, really appreciate that. And I know the community does as well, because it does show with the quality of questions often that are presented to a team based on the discussion that I have and what's available for our team in the white paper. So again, I wanted to say thank you guys for taking the time to be here with us today.
Well, thank you, man. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, and again, guys, just pay attention. The pre-sale is going to be coming up for the actual token as well in the coming weeks. So, key step, join the Telegram channel, keep your eye out for those announcements, and I will also be editing that private link. But I'm going to throw it over to the team to close out, and just one last thank you guys for the time and the extra time for the community on the question.
Yeah, again, thank you for having us. You guys have been fantastic hosts. You guys have honestly asked the best questions out of anywhere that we've done our AMA so far, and we really appreciate it. It means you guys are really thinking about it. Again, we know that this is a long-term project. We're looking at 3 months from pre-sale before we get the V1 version of the app out. But, to build a business, it takes time. It takes strong community. I've been in some projects with incredible communities. And, we invite you to come over to our Telegram, come ask questions, come be a part, come get fired up. I mean, you've got 4 people on the website who are real people who are putting their faces out there in this crazy space to give you guys the confidence that we're going to deliver on something that we're building. We've done the homework, we've done the market research, we understand how big this can be. And I think, a few months from now after we launch and I get ready with our kind of secret weapon and I tell you guys what it is, your socks and your hat are going to get blown off, because there's so much that we can do with this that we haven't even discussed yet. And I'm excited to see what you guys as a community can bring to the table. And if you guys, I'm getting marketing proposals out the yin yang right now. But if you guys are out there and you're listening to this idea and you think you've got some whales,
sending them to Sam.
What's that?
I said they're supposed to be sending them to Sam.
Yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, send them to Sam. He loves them.
Send them all my way. I'll look through every single one.
But if you're listening and you're a smart investor in the space and some whales or people that you think might be interested to hear this, You know, I'm not asking market proposals. Be like, yo, you guys have a good pitch. You got a good idea. Maybe these guys would like to hear it. Feel free to send them our way. We are looking for real connection, real networking, not just calls and stuff like that. So if something like that appeals to you, or you think somebody might be interested in this, you know, let's talk. But yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. And I thank you to Sam, Carmen, RJ, Benny, everyone that came out to support us too, Toad, T-Row. Like you guys are freaking awesome, man. And I'm super glad you guys are all here.
Do you mind if I just say one thing too there? I just wanted to say I will actually be reading every DM I get. The questions that we got today were fantastic. And honestly, the questions like that make us better. What we want to do is we want to provide a good safe haven, safe harbor kind of coin for people to grow and watch their investments grow. And honestly, feedback from the community is paramount for us moving forward. What we need to do is we need to provide the best application possible. So we are definitely going to be very feedback oriented. So if you have any comments, any sort of concerns or questions or ideas that you want to put in front of us, I'll be reading everything I get sent. So feel free to, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes through.
Exactly.
And I didn't know if maybe we wanted to give Carmen a quick second to say a farewell before she jumps as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for remembering. I absolutely am always trying to like unmute and just take a couple more pieces just to give people some enthusiasm behind things. Right now with the market conditions, the noise is starting to settle, and people like us with great teams to surround us and support each other, we're finding ways to build, and we're not rushing. Right? We're building great products that are going to have longevity in the space. So we always thank everyone who gives us an opportunity to take stage and share what our dreams are. What kind of impact do we want to make? We want to make this place fun. We want to onboard more people into crypto. Things like this matter, and it's what's going to pivot to mass adoption. So these are great projects to be on stage right now.
I couldn't agree more. And again, just really appreciate the professionalism and detail that you've put into the project as well on the back end to make the presentation and the AMA so engaging for me and the community, because I've definitely hosted a lot. I mean, not too many the last 2 days because I had some dental work done on Tuesday, but I've definitely hosted a lot of projects. And, you know, the last maybe 4 or 5 days, I've just really seen the quality from the teams and what that they're doing from a preparation standpoint go up, and it makes for such an engaging AMA. So just thank you guys very much, and I'm really excited to see how the project progresses. And again, you know, this isn't going to be the last time you see Bet Your Beans on the channel. So, you know, keep an eye in the future for that pre-sale announcement. And if you guys are looking to get involved with the NFTs, their private sale will be coming up on Saturday.
Right on. Thank you so much, brother.
Awesome.
You and
Thanks so
Caesar
much,
both
Matt.
fantastic.